Hello folks, Exeter Rider. Now this week I am at the ABR Festival once again. Keep on hearing me on this place, don't you? Good place for test rides, I tell you. And I am riding the Suzuki V-Strom 650. Now just a quick look at the bike. Now unfortunately they still carry that headlight, which I think is a little bit foogly ugly, but the rest of the bike looks really good. It is a 650 V-twin. Here's the dash. They've been making these motors for since about 1998, I believe, when they had the S650 and that first come out. Don't quote me on that, I think it was around that time though. The dash is very nice and high up. The screen is about chin height for me. Surprisingly light on top actually. I was expecting it to be a bit more meaty than that. This is a 650. There is also a 1050 as well, which I did a review for. So I'll stick a card up at the end of this video regarding that one, which is quite a good review, I think. This is kind of I don't want to say it's a beginner's adventure bike, because that can be taken the wrong way. But you know what I mean by that. What I mean is that it's a good way to get into the adventure bike scene. With it being a V-twin, you do tend to find that they do have a lot of strong low down torque, and that's definitely what I'm getting from this bike. There is no quick shifter on this one. I believe they do make a XT version of this 650 as well, but this is only a test ride and not a full review, so there's only so much info I can get you. So stood up on the pegs, my arms are out straight. Overall it's quite a basic bike. There is no quick shifter or anything like that. It is proper old school basic biking, so less to go wrong. That's a good way of looking at that. I'm not sure if the screen is adjustable. I don't think it is. I think it might be adjustable with just 2 stages, which is minimal stages, I would say. Another thing I have noticed with this V-Strom is that the rear brake is very bland. It's not, you have to give it a bit of a shove for anything to happen. It almost feels like the brakes need bleeding on the back to soften it up a bit. It's very, very hard, but easy to reach at the same time. The screen is noisy. It's causing a lot of noise, too much noise. So you definitely want earplugs where, you know, going along on this bike. But it is taking pretty much all the wind away from me. But I could just hear it a lot. It's a shame really. So you probably want to put a little bit on top there to sort that out. Gearbox is really, really slick. It's very, very precise and very snicks into place, straight in. No dilly-dallying there. As a daily commuter, it'll be really very, very good. And even the mirrors are good. Look, I think you can see what I can see in my mirrors there. I've got a very good view. Left and right. The suspension does feel a little bit on the budget side, if I'm honest. Let's go over this speed bump and give you a... Oh, it's not too bad, but it is quite abrupt. It's not soft in any way, I don't think, really. Power wise and getting up to speed is pretty quick. We'll try that in a minute and we'll open it up and see what it can do. The seat comfort is a little bit difficult to gauge because I've been on bikes all weekend now. I think this is my probably 5th test ride, and my bum is going pretty numb now. So it's a little bit hard to tell, but I describe it as quite a wide seat. But it is, again, it's well, I say again, it's quite hard. Of course you can get the panniers for it and the top boxes and things like that. It'd be a really good bike to own this, because it does do a bit of everything quite well. And even at higher speeds, what are we at now? We're at 60 now, and I'm at about 4,500 revs. But again, with it being a V-twin, it doesn't feel like 4,500 revs if you want. The screen does look a little bit dated with its analog rev bar and the digital gear indicator and dash and things like that. But don't forget, you need to consider what you're paying for a bike like this, because at the end of the day, if it's quite cheap, then why pay for a, you know, a fandango TFT screen? There's just no point, is there? I'd rather save 500 quid and have a LCD screen. But for overall, I mean, the impression that I'm getting from this so far is that it'll be a good little workhorse, you know, for everyday riding and the like. I think, you know, going to work every day, and yet still gives you that feel that you could do touring on this and stick a tent on the back. I think that it would be quite good for that. It's a bit of an all-rounder, I suppose you could say. I don't really miss the power of the 1050 that I rode, V-Strom. I think a lot of people would want to know the comparison. So I personally think that the 1050 is quite a big, heavy bike. It's a brilliant bike, but it is a bit more serious. You know, if you go off-road with a 1050 and you have to pick it up, you're going to struggle. And it's also more geared for proper, you know, continental touring. Where's he going? Continental touring. So for me, this bike as an everyday bike makes more sense. I'd probably have this. As much as I like the 1050 more in many ways, it's kind of almost overkill for me. Whereas with the 650, it's just that little bit more pliable for normal everyday needs. It's not going to feel like a real ball ache to pull out the garage and just go for a ride, whereas the 1050 would feel a little bit more like that. But the 1050 is an excellent bike. I would even say that it's probably up there with my most favourite adventure bikes, mainly due to price and simplicity of the bike. You haven't got all the electronics to let you down and go wrong. Off you go. Open her up. Yeah, it's a nice simple bike, this. Reliable workhorse. Out the way, birds. Whee! Oh, brake, brake, brake. Oh, he's going for it this time. Yeah, this is a bike which I would recommend for my mate Curious Goose, actually, another YouTuber. He's on a 125 at the moment, but I've often thought, if he did pass his test, what would be his type of bike? I mean, he wants an adventure bike, he likes doing all that sort of thing, and the thought he can do touring on it. I would recommend this bike, actually. I would recommend... I'd almost recommend this bike over a Honda 500X, you know. That's a bit of a tall order, because the 500X is a bulletproof bike. But this is just slightly bigger. A little bit more character, to be fair. And the thing that really lets this bike down is the look of that front end. That's a personal thing. Some people will probably like it, many won't, and I don't like the front end. I don't like that headlight. It's a real shame, because if they sorted that out and done what they've done with the 1050 with its square headlight or some such thing, this bike's got so much going for it. And certainly in a day and age when bikes are so damn complicated these days with the electronics, that they just go bloody wrong all the time. And this is a proper, honest motorcycle. Good, very good workhorse for all different, you know, types of riding. Right, here we are on the dual carriageway. I'm doing 66 miles per hour and I'm at 5,000 revs. Because it's a twin, you don't really feel like you're at 5,000 revs. It feels really relaxed. It's nicely geared as well. I want to say it feels like a bit like an overdrive, being in 6th gear. And what I mean by that is that it's quite relaxed. Now if I want a bit of roll-on power from 60, yeah, still got it there, look, and loads more. So you can easily do over a ton on this 650 Suzuki, easy, no problem at all. It got an auxiliary cigarette lighter thing here. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm running out of batteries now, so thanks for watching this video, very much appreciated. If you've got any questions about the bike, please do say, and I'll see if I can find out and what it's like to ride. And if you're a new rider or going up to a bigger bike, if you've got any questions about what it's like to own as a first big bike, get in contact as well. Give it a like, that is a massive help to me if you could like the video. I know I couldn't do a proper review of this and my normal ride-by shots and all that, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.